Tonight on CTV News, worried about the Whitecaps.
If they have already made a decision to move the team, I'd rather them just tell us.
As fans rally to keep the team in Vancouver, a Las Vegas buyer makes an offer to move the club, the province's message to the league.
You might see police dogs doing some sniffing and searching. You might even see drones in the air.
Unprecedented security. The largest Vancouver police deployment ever will be working during the World Cup.
Seeing prices go up drastically, it just makes your heart sink.
So much for relief at the pump. Any savings from Ottawa's gas tax break have been wiped out. How much prices are expected to soar?
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. As Vancouver prepares to host the World Cup, the Vancouver Whitecaps could be one step closer to leaving. A Las Vegas investor group has made an offer to buy and move the team. It comes a day after the Premier's optimistic message about his meeting with the league boss. CTV's Rob Buffum reports.
Vancouver, everywhere you go, everywhere you go.
As the sun rose Thursday, Whitecaps faithful rally outside the FIFA Congress. Amid speculation, their beloved team is leaving town.
If this team were to relocate, you'd be ripping something out of the heart of the community.
It shouldn't happen anywhere, but here specifically, we're going to fight to make sure that doesn't happen.
Hours later, news broke. An American group made a formal offer to Major League Soccer, hoping to move the club to Las Vegas. News that surprised the province.
Our message to the league has been, if you want to expand the league, you can expand the league. It doesn't need to be a team from Vancouver that gets moved to that jurisdiction.
The apparent blindside, a day after Premier Eby met with the commissioner of MLS, Don Garber, and then posted online.
We are at the table fighting hard to save the Whitecaps. Losing the Whitecaps is not an option.
Garber's X account responded, "Liar, liar, pants on fire," before his comms team said that was a hack. Garber subsequently added his account was compromised earlier this evening. The issue has been resolved.
I'll leave it to the fans to decide if they believe it or not, and we'll leave it to him to explain later.
Online, fans weren't buying the commissioner's story. One tweeting, as a not-so-wise man once said, "Liar, liar, pants on fire." Garber was supposed to address reporters Thursday afternoon inside the FIFA Congress, but canceled at the last minute. Whitecaps' current ownership has had the team up for sale since 2024, citing ongoing challenges tied to stadium control and revenue at BC Place, which is owned by the province.
We have not had a proposal from the Whitecaps management for hosting or taking over the lease of BC Place. If that is something they're interested in, they should put a proposal forward and we'll have a look at it.
Rob joins us live now from Victoria. And Rob, the MLS and the Whitecaps have just issued a statement about all this.
That's right, Mijung. Just a few minutes ago, the club issued a statement saying basically that they were looking for solutions to keep the club in Vancouver, but because those talks were still ongoing, they would refrain from any further comment. The league also just issued a statement where they say essentially they are looking for solutions or pathways forward to a long-term solution in Vancouver. They say the club and MLS will continue talks and that leadership from the MLS will be back in Vancouver in the coming weeks. Neither statement conspicuously responded to any questions about this formal offer to move the team to Vegas that includes an offer to build a privately funded stadium specifically for the soccer club in Las Vegas. Mijung.
Thank you, Rob. As we mentioned, Vancouver hosted FIFA's Congress today, drawing soccer's top officials from across the globe. It's also a glimpse at how the city's preparing to control all those crowds during the World Cup. CTV's Craig Krause reports on what will be an unprecedented police presence in the city.
Layers of security, with officers flooding the streets of Vancouver, a first glimpse of what things will look like during the World Cup. As 1,600 delegates from more than 200 FIFA member associations gather ahead of the tournament.
We need a lot of people to police a big event like this.
An estimated 800 officers are being brought in from outside of Vancouver to help ensure public safety, a record for the city, outnumbering the police presence during the 2010 Olympics.
There will be on some days up to 1,200 police officers deployed between VPD, Calgary Police Service, Edmonton, and the RCMP is coming to help us as well.
This comes as global tensions remain high amid the Iran-U.S. conflict. Vancouver police say geopolitics is part of their risk assessment, and they'll be ready. But security is only part of the story. Getting into the downtown core, whether by car or SkyTrain, will come with challenges. On match days, fans won't be able to access BC Place through Stadium Chinatown or Yaletown Roundhouse stations. Instead, they'll need to get off at Main Street Science World, and transit service will be expanded to handle the surge.
We know we need to do that to meet the capacity, and we've learned the best ways to do that as well.
Leaving some locals cautiously optimistic about navigating the chaos.
There could be some issues trying to get into some of the businesses that are within the perimeter. Not sure how that's going to play out.
I do my homework. I've seen what they're closing down.
Back inside the giant convention, FIFA's vice president, a Vancouver native, set the stage for the tournament that is about to hit this city, Toronto, and 14 others.
We stand at a moment that comes but once in a generation. In just over 40 days, the World Cup arrives in North America.
Now, as the city steps onto the global stage, the spotlight is bright and the pressure is on. Craig Crow, CTV News, Vancouver.
Gas prices have surged again, and analysts expect another increase overnight. CTV's Mark McMahon has more on what you can expect as the U.S.-Iran conflict continues to push prices higher.
It already hurts to fill up in Metro Vancouver at $2.17 a liter Thursday afternoon.
You're seeing prices go up drastically. It just makes your heart sink.
I do feel for people that have to travel, to the valley on a daily basis, or even just kind of across town. Like, if you don't have the choice, yeah, it's a significant hit.
You have to accept it at some point, right? You just that you're driving, you have to drive. That is what it is.
Analysts believe another jump is coming before the weekend, with no clear end to the U.S.-Iran conflict and the ongoing closure of the Strait of Hormuz.
I can't see anything stopping it going up about 5 cents a liter. Just the way it is. I can't say anything happier about that, if you like, but that's the facts of life right now. This is going to be a pretty rough couple of months.
The provincial government is taking a look at options to give drivers relief.
We have nothing at this point that we can announce. We have met as the Premier put a cabinet committee together to look at the challenges. We're looking at everything, short-term, medium-term, long-term, structural changes, so that we can ensure that we're not in a vulnerable situation like this ever again.
Meanwhile, the Conservatives argue a lack of resource development has left BC vulnerable.
The fact of the matter is that we should have a pipeline, we should be looking at refineries, we should be doing all those things, and we'd be in a much better place than we are today.
Ultimately, experts believe high prices are here to stay for some time.
I can see this whole scenario stretching right through into the early part of 2027. And I don't know what you can do about it.
As for where this is all going, experts say even if the Strait of Hormuz was open today, we could still see another 2 months of elevated gas prices. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Vancouver.
As gas prices rise, is there more you can do to squeeze savings out of your tank? We'll have some quick and easy tips to ease your fuel consumption a little later in tonight's show. Now let's take a look outside. You got a view of English Bay from our camera atop Grouse Mountain. Another gorgeous day, and you've got a pretty easy job these days.
Yeah.
Like
just
sunshine.
repeat everything. I should just take the rest of the week off, right? A great way to finish off April. Blue sky, sunshine once again. Here's a look at temperatures across the lower mainland. 20 degrees at the harbor. You're looking at 24s in Pitt Meadows and in Abbotsford. 25 degrees right now in Surrey, and a whopping 26 degrees in Chilliwack. So warmer than expected. We can expect to see above seasonal temperatures tomorrow as well. 10 degrees overnight under overcast skies, and we'll see sunny breaks tomorrow with a high of 18 degrees near the water, 22 degrees inland. We are going to see way hotter temperatures as we head into the weekend as well. And I've got those full details and the forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Anne. The city of Surrey says it has identified the people accused of illegally dumping concrete from a demolition job onto a rural road. No penalties have been handed out since neighbors confronted the men, but the investigation is ongoing. CTV's Ben Milger reports.
Drive far enough down a rural road in Metro Vancouver and you're bound to come across discarded sofas, kitchen cabinets, and mattresses.
Caught these idiots dumping on Colbrook Road.
The issue came to a head a few days ago when a group of Surrey residents confronted some men they say were illegally dumping blocks of concrete.
I will tell you that we're actively investigating this, and we have identified the individuals.
In the social media video, the men can be seen loading the concrete into their trailer after bystanders apparently blocked the road so they couldn't leave. The city would prefer people took photos or videos from a safe distance.
Do not confront them, because you just never know who's who nowadays, and it's best to report it to bylaws. And if you feel that your safety is at risk, then you're best to call the police.
Fines for illegal dumping start at $500 and range all the way up to $10,000, leaving some at the city of Surrey wondering why anyone would take that risk. Especially when residents can make an appointment to have the city pick up unwanted furniture and appliances curbside for free.
We'll send a truck out there to pick it up right in front of your home, so there's no need for residents to go out of their way and dump either in front of their homes or secluded areas or in ditches, alleyways, etc.
Starting May 4th, residents can also drop off up to 100 kilograms of waste for free at the city's recycling and waste centers. A far better option than taking your chances and risking a hefty fine. Ben Milger, CTV News, Surrey.
After the latest suspected gang shooting in Surrey this week, the city's police force says it does have adequate resources to tackle organized crime. The Surrey Police Service is responding to concerns raised over the temporary dismantling of its gang prevention unit. The SPS says members of the 8-person team were reassigned back in January to help with the extortion crisis, as well as the force's expansion into Cloverdale. Officers from other units were also reassigned to meet those demands. The force says it had requested a 4-month delay for the Cloverdale expansion, but that was denied by the province. However, the SPS says there's been about a 65% decrease in extortions since February. The province's Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit and the BC RCMP both also continue to assist in fighting gang activity.
I would say probably at no other time in Surrey's history have there been as many police officers working in Surrey than there are right now. We have a lot of police officers, and just because someone's working in patrol or on the front lines does not mean that they're not looking for gang members. I've never met a police officer in my 28-year career that doesn't like chasing gang members.
Surrey police say they will reassess the staffing situation later this year and potentially reassemble the gang unit when new recruits graduate and more experienced officers are hired. There is growing backlash to the province's pause of several healthcare projects. The latest casualty is Burnaby Hospital's expansion, which included a new cancer center. As CTV's Isabella Zavarisi reports, those who advocated for the renovation say they're shocked and have received no timeline as to when the project will resume.
Built in the 1950s, Burnaby Hospital has one of the lowest bed counts in BC, yet serves hundreds of thousands of patients. Since 2022, it's been under renovation, but this week, the province cancelled the construction contract for Phase 2.
We've gotten halfway through and kind of had the rug pulled out from under us, and we're not getting that second half of our hospital at this point.
Phase 2 included a cancer center, more beds, and a new medical imaging department.
We've done a lot of work the last few months getting reassurances from government that it's moving forward. And for, to be told now that it's canceled, it doesn't sit well.
The province is using its own term for it, repacing.
I couldn't find it in the dictionary either.
Burnaby Mayor Mike Hurley says stalling construction only puts further pressure on the growing city.
Flies in the face of what the province are saying, build, 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 bring in more people, and I can agree with that. However, there must be the infrastructure that keeps up with all of that.
The aging facility also taking a toll on healthcare workers.
It's not dignified care, it's not safe care, and so it is unfortunate that this expansion can't go forward at this time.
Burnaby isn't the only municipality impacted. 3 new long-term care homes in Abbotsford, Chilliwack and Delta are also being deferred.
The Delta Hospital Foundation that went out and raised $20 million as part of our
role with government. If you guys can raise $20 million, we'll bring forward the $185 million to get this project finished. And the government has completely let us down in Delta.
The province says these projects will eventually be delivered and remain in the capital plan.
Their estimated budgets were coming in at well over what was originally budgeted for those projects, and it is incumbent on government to work with the project teams and the health authorities to make sure that when we're delivering infrastructure investments for British Columbians, that their taxpayer dollars are being respected.
As for when the work will resume, no timeline has been provided. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Burnaby.
Hundreds of nurses took to the streets of downtown Vancouver today in a show of unity ahead of their union strike vote next week.
The nurses do not want to withdraw labor. Next move is for the employer. Do they want to have a contract that respects nurses, or do they not? Up to them.
More than 50,000 members of the nurses union will take part in a strike vote between May 8th and 11th. It comes amid a breakdown in contract talks between the union and the Health Employers Association. Their last contract expired in March of last year. The BCNU president says benefits remain a key sticking point in negotiations. Advocates for children with autism gathered outside the legislature in Victoria today to rally against the province's overhaul of a disability funding model that critics say will leave thousands of kids behind.
We're not allowing this to fade into silence and that your hope is going to get lost, that we're going to continue walking alongside you as long as we need to ensure that advocacy is occurring for support.
Earlier this year, the province announced a shift from diagnosis-based funding to a new needs-based model. Autism BC says up to 10,000 children could lose some or all of their autism funding as a result. Direct funding ends in April 2027, but free community services meant to support families losing funding aren't expected to launch until the following year. Politics and soccer, why Iranian delegates who were heading to the FIFA Congress in Vancouver were sent back home. Also ahead.
It feels like there's a piece missing, and it's been like that for all these years.
A cold case. Police renew a public appeal in the disappearance of a local man last seen nearly 40 years ago. When CTV News at 6 continues, stay with us. Our case of a man who disappeared without a trace nearly 40 years ago. New Westminster's specialized investigation unit is determined to find him. They've released new information and new photos, hoping someone knows what happened to Gordon Raymond. Here's Sinjan Alexander.
New Year's 1987. That's the last time friends or family had any contact with Gordon Raymond. He was celebrating with his brother at a Vancouver hotel. The next morning, in his Buick Century, Raymond dropped his brother off and was never seen again. His sister Colleen lives in Edmonton.
It feels like there's a piece missing, and it's been like that for all these years.
She says her family was always in contact with each other, so this is unusual. He would be 79 years old today.
We're hoping to amplify the message and get this in front of someone, either Mr. Raymond himself or someone who may know where he is or may have seen him recently that could help us.
We do know Raymond worked as a mechanic, sometimes on aircraft. He moved a lot, wherever work took him, all over Alberta, in Surrey, Vancouver, and New Westminster. He also visited Thailand.
Well, I feel like something has happened to him, and I don't think that he's off on a beach or anything like some people want to believe. Somewhere in those 40 years, I would think he would have reached out to one of us.
She remembers competing in a choir competition when she was 10 years old. No one in her family could make it, except Gord, who waved to say he was there. It was a big deal for Colleen. This is sound from that very night.
Because I always respected him and, admired him, and he was kind of a big deal in our family.
It meant a lot to you.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge.
Something like DNA technology has come a long way since this was reported in 1987. So we do have the ability to use DNA to advance this investigation.
Gordon sometimes went by Gord, Some knew him as Dale. Whatever happened to him, there are so many possibilities. His family just wants to know. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
The province is banning the breeding, transport, and future ownership of all exotic cats starting tomorrow. This ban includes wild cats like servals, ocelots, and Asian golden cats. The SPCA is celebrating the decision by the province, saying that decades of campaigning has finally paid off. People who already own exotic pets shouldn't worry. They're allowed to keep their pets as long as they obtain a permit. The ban primarily focuses on the future of the feline in the province, ensuring that wild cats won't have to live in captivity. ICBC is urging people to watch for pedestrians, including the ones with 4 legs and a tail. The insurance corporation says there are more animals on the road in the spring, causing a significant number of crashes. It says collisions with wildlife have been increasing since 2020, reaching a high of more than 12,500 in 2024, which is roughly 900 more than the yearly average over the past decade. ICBC says that could be linked to milder winters, more vehicles on the road, and growing deer populations.
We share this province with so many amazing animals, so we really need to be on the lookout right now. And when you see those wildlife crossing warning signs, remember that those signs have been put there for a reason. They are there because collisions are taking place in the area you're driving in, collisions involving wildlife.
ICBC recommends managing your speed, scanning the roadside, and maintaining your car's lights, wheels, wipers, and horn. A troubling crime scene in Calgary. 2 children believed to be under 10 are dead. Who police arrested? Also coming up.
We have to unite. We have to bring people together.
Despite the U.S. war on Iran, the country's team will play in the World Cup. We'll tell you where all of their games will be. That's next. It is the first weekend of May, and there's lots going on in Metro Vancouver. We've got a full list of fun things to check out on our website, ctvnewsvancouver.ca. There is diplomatic tension between Tehran and Ottawa heading into next month's World Cup. Iranian Soccer Federation President Mehdi Taj was denied entry to Canada earlier this week at Toronto's Pearson Airport. An Iranian news outlet says he was given a visa, but was turned away because he is a former member of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It is classified as a terrorist entity by Canada. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says it is her understanding that permission to enter Canada was revoked unintentionally. The 3-man delegation has now gone home. They were headed to Vancouver for the FIFA Congress, which, as we mentioned earlier in the show, began today. And at that gathering, FIFA's president said Iran will play World Cup games in the U.S. despite the war between the two.
The reason for that is very simple, dear friends, is because we have to unite. We have to bring people together. It is my responsibility, it is our responsibility. Football unites the world.
Iran will play all 3 of its matches in the U.S., 2 in Los Angeles and 1 in Seattle. It is the only nation not at the pre-tournament FIFA Congress that brings together each of the 211 federations in soccer's governing body. A warning that this next story may disturb some viewers. A homicide investigation is underway in Calgary after the bodies of 2 children were found dead inside a parked Jeep. CTV's Kevin Green has more on what we know about the victims and the man taken into custody.
Police say they were called just after 10 a.m. Thursday to a location just meters from the District 3 police station.
Once we arrived, we located a vehicle. A search of that vehicle has located 2 deceased children.
Police have not said how the 2 children died.
At this time, the deaths are considered suspicious. Our homicide unit is investigating. Our medical examiner is on scene, who will begin the investigation into the deaths themselves. They will be the ones that would ultimately determine the cause of death.
And they say they have not yet identified the children either.
I don't know the sex of the victims. I can tell you they're both believed to be under the ages of 10.
Investigators say one man is now in custody, but can't say how or if he is related to the children.
At this point, that's still too early in the investigation. We still need to identify who the children are. And at that point, we can then start to look at who their parents are, who is responsible, and what actually happened here.
Residents were kept in their homes as the investigation unfolded outside their front windows. Several say the vehicle in question is not familiar to the neighborhood, and one told us it was not parked at the scene as late as 8 o'clock Thursday morning.
Yeah, it's not something you ever think you're going to experience. I can't imagine how the cops are feeling right now. Probably absolutely beside themselves, because it was right in front of their station. Just absolutely devastating.
Emergency responders were seen leaving the scene in tears, overwhelmed by what they had encountered.
It is very hard on our officers. Our officers are human, and this is heartbreaking for everyone.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The U.S. is calling it a huge deal for energy dominance. Donald Trump approves a pipeline to transport Canadian crude to Wyoming. Also ahead.
He's so precious, and he's quite literally humongous.
In this colony of sea lions, one stands out. Why scientists say Chonker's presence is a good sign. We'll be right back.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch. Dragon boaters paddling past the Time Top statue just west of the Canby Bridge under a spectacular sunny spring day in Falls Creek.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
A stellar sea lion is making his mark on San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf. Affectionately dubbed Chonkers by fans on the internet, the male sea lion is making big waves. Chonkers has frequented the wharf over the last several years, but this time he has taken up residence, and harbor masters say his lasting presence is a good sign, indicating the bay is healthy and has abundant food.
I love that they just dubbed him this name of Chonkers. He's so precious, and he's quite literally humongous.
Chonkers weighs in at an estimated 2,000 pounds, clearly earning the name from his beloved fans. Wow, I can see why he might be the alpha male in that group, don't you think?
Yeah, I think he takes over everything and pretty much is, eating all the food there. So glad he's taking up residence in San Francisco. All right, let's take a look at our forecast. Another beautiful day, nice and warm, above seasonal temperatures once again. The hot spot once again in BC. Lytton at 28.2 degrees, close but not close enough to the record set back in 2004 at 30 degrees. All because of a ridge of high pressure. It is sliding towards the east. We do have a weak system moving its way in, bringing in not rain, but overcast conditions with an onshore flow as we head through the overnight hours. As you can see on our weather tracker, continuing into tomorrow morning for your early morning commute, you'll see mostly cloudy skies, and that's what we can expect for tomorrow afternoon, slowly clearing as we head into tomorrow night. So with that ridge of high pressure, that is bringing in the warm temperatures as we head into the weekend. It'll bring us clear conditions as well, and temperatures will be well above seasonal. For inland regions, you'll see temperatures close to the 30-degree mark. For across the province, you're looking at blue skies and sunshine as well. For the central coast and central interior, your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Mix of sun and cloud for Port Hardy, 15 degrees. You'll see mostly cloudy skies and 20s for Campbell River and Comox. That's what you can expect for the South Island from Tofino right down to Victoria, with temperatures between 15 and 22 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies for the Sunshine Coast and a high of 18. Touch warmer up the Sea to Sky Highway, 20 degrees for Whistler, 22 for Squamish, and for us across the lower mainland. Mostly cloudy skies, a few sunny breaks in there with temperatures between 18 degrees near the water, 22 degrees inland, and then it heats up. Saturday, temperatures between 20 and 25 for the BMO Vancouver Marathon on Sunday. Inland temperatures will reach 27. Warmer on Monday, temperatures between 23 and 28. As we head into Tuesday, we'll see temperatures between 20 and 25 degrees, and then Wednesday and Thursday it moderates, still above seasonal temperatures at 18 degrees under a mix of sun and clouds. So it'll be very hot. I bet a lot of people will be out and about, but make sure you slap on that sunscreen and stay hydrated.
Yeah, very dry, so you'll have to, you can't use the sprinkler, but you can water with the what do you call it? The gun.
Yes, exactly. The hose.
The hose, that's what it's called. All right, thanks,
You're
Ann.
welcome.
Donald Trump has approved a proposed pipeline that could increase Canada's crude exports to the United States by more than 12%. The U.S. president signed an order today authorizing the pipeline that would transport Canadian oil from the U.S.-Canada border to Wyoming. The company that would build the pipeline says it would have the capacity to move more than 1 billion barrels per day. Canada supplies more crude to the U.S. than any other country, including 1.64 billion barrels last year. As gas prices continue to climb, every fill-up is hurting more. While there may not be an end in sight, there may be ways to spend a bit less at the pump. From tire pressure to driving habits, CTV's John Vanavalley-Rao breaks down what can make a difference.
Let's go check your tire pressure.
Teresa DeFelice with the CAA showed us one of the easiest things drivers looking to save on gas should do right now. Check the tire pressures on their vehicle and make sure they're at the recommended level, which is listed on a sticker you can find inside the driver's side door jamb.
Underinflated tires can reduce your fuel efficiency by 4%.
If a tire is underinflated, it has a higher rolling resistance, and the tire has to work harder to get down the road. A survey last year found only about a quarter of Canadian motorists check their tire pressure monthly. Another thing you can do, look in the trunk to see if there's anything you don't need and remove it. An extra 45 kilograms or 100 pounds in a vehicle can increase fuel consumption up to 1%.
If you were carrying around a bag of salt or sand to weigh down your car in the snow, it's time to take it out and help your fuel efficiency.
If you've got roof racks or bikes hanging off the rear, remove them when not in use because they can, of course, impact the vehicle's aerodynamics.
It causes a drag on your car, and your car has to work harder, which means it's using more fuel.
And experts say try to drive evenly and avoid hard acceleration and sudden braking whenever possible, with aggressive driving shown to lower gas mileage 15 to 30% at highway speeds. Consider using cruise control on the highway to make things steady.
It's nice to have slow acceleration, gradual speed increase.
According to Consumer Reports, another tip, skip the premium gas unless a higher octane is required for your vehicle. And checking gas prices online using apps and websites can help find cheaper prices in your area. That's because experts say prices can vary as much as 10 cents between stations, so it can pay to check. John Vanavalley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is looking into privatizing airports, why critics say it could hike the cost of air travel. Also coming up.
So many notifications, so many texts, so many pings, all of your news is coming through your phone.
The addiction is real, with Canadians spending an average of 4 hours a day on their phones. Some tips on ditching digital time. That's ahead. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar was up, trading around 73 cents to the U.S. dollar. Oil down by just under $2, ending the day at more than $105 a barrel. Gold gained $68 on the day. On the stock market, the TSX gained 645 points, and the Dow Jones gained 790 points. The province says up to 1,400 forestry workers could benefit from a new federally backed support grant worth nearly $21 million.
I want all British Columbians to know that the Forest Worker Support Program grant, $20 million in partnership with the federal government, is going to put investments in workers at a time when we need to ensure that we can stabilize this forest sector as we do the long-term work to help transform this sector away from boom and bust to stability and certainty.
The province says the funding will focus on worker retention, wage support, and local projects that create jobs. The grant will be delivered by the Northern Development Initiative Trust in Prince George, based on local needs. This week's spring economic update revealed the federal government is still interested in privatizing airports. Ottawa has been mulling over the idea of privatizing airports for decades now, but the concept has never taken off. The Carney government brought back the proposal in last year's budget. It aims to reform Canada's airports to better position them to attract private investment. But professionals are urging the government to proceed with caution.
we need to take a very close look before we proceed, precisely because there are cautionary tales in private investment at airport, but there are also genuine success stories.
The cost of airfare has continued to rise across the country, and with the global fuel shortage, those costs are expected to keep going up. Critics of the plan say privatization will only lead to further price hikes, while supporters argue the move to sell the airports will maximize gains for Canadians. As of now, the plans only appear to be in the early stages of talks. While there's growing concern about the impact of screen time on children, adults may need help too. A recent survey found many people check their phones hundreds of times a day, with many saying they feel addicted. CTV's Pat Foran has tips on how to scale back.
How much time do you spend on your phone each day?
Several hours, 5 hours a day. Listen to podcasts and whatnot, and then doomsday scrolling.
A recent survey shows people pick up their phones nearly 200 times a day on average and spend more than 4 hours a day on them. Nearly half say they feel addicted.
Too much.
Excessive screen time can affect sleep, stress levels, attention span, mental health, and even our ability to connect with people in real life.
So many notifications, so many texts, so many pings, all of your news is coming through your phone, all of your tasks and to-dos and emails are all coming through your phone, so that you get to a place of burnout where responding to a single text feels tiring.
Consumer Reports says there are simple ways to cut back and reclaim some non-screen time.
Start by just taking short breaks. Even just having your phone in another room for 20 minutes can help you build that comfort and tolerance being away from your device.
You can also delete or limit time-wasting apps like social media, even temporarily. Mute noisy notifications, set your phone to grayscale to make apps less tempting. Replace screen time with books, hobbies, or exercise. And ask friends and family to hold you accountable. And if you need more help,
depending on how much change you feel like you need, you could do anything from install an app that sets stricter screen time limits to downgrading all the way to an old school flip phone.
There are even tools designed to help, like a device called Brick, which blocks apps unless you physically tap your phone to unlock them. Whether you go high tech or back to basics, think less scrolling and more strolling. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A teenager is facing mischief charges in Singapore after video he posted online of him spreading his germs around went viral. The video in question shows the 18-year-old teen from France licking a straw from an orange juice vending machine and then putting it back. The teen has been allowed to return to France on the condition he returns for court on May 29th. The vending machine company who filed the police report says it sanitized the machine and replaced all 500 straws. In Singapore, mischief can carry a penalty of up to 2 years in prison. Olivia Rodrigo's just announced a world tour with 2 shows in Vancouver. The details right after the break. Lucky in love, this couple credits staying together for almost 50 years with 2 things. Adam shows us next on the Sawatsky Signoff. Right now, here's Carrie with a preview of your morning, Vancouver.
One of the world's most influential environmental voices has just turned 90. Friday on Your Morning Vancouver, David Suzuki reflects on 5 decades of advocacy and what comes next for the climate movement.
It's my husband, Vin. I was crazy about him.
We'll speak with a Canadian Oscar-nominated filmmaker about his new documentary inspired by a famous photo. We'll see you in the morning.
The mysterious artist Banksy is at it again. People in London woke up to find this statue of a suited man with his chest puffed out in the historic Waterloo Place Plaza. The man is about to walk off the platform with his face blinded by the flag he's carrying. Banksy's confirmed it was his work with this video on Instagram, with one top commentator describing the piece as blinded by nationalism. Olivia Rodrigo is going on tour with 2 shows here for Vancouver. The singer-songwriter recently shared her track Drop Dead, the lead single of her album out in June, titled You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love. Rodrigo says she will then hit the road in September with the Unraveled tour. It is scheduled to hit several cities across North America and Europe, with concerts booked at Rogers Arena December 1st and 2nd. Tickets go on sale next week. A pair of trail cameras captured some stunning up-close and personal video of a big cat and her offspring. The video was captured about a month ago, showing a female cougar with her 3 large kittens. According to the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources, this is the first documented evidence that cougars are reproducing in the state. Experts estimate the 3 cubs to be between 7 and 9 months old.
Wow, those are some big kitties.
I know, pretty beautiful creatures.
Yes.
They should put some of those cameras on Vancouver Island. Lots of cougars there. Better to just get them on camera and not get too close, right?
I love the little purr, though.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, Lauren, what's coming up tonight on the Late News?
Well, Mi Jung, former Attorney General and lawyer Wally Opal is being honored tonight. We'll have more on why he's being recognized. And an amazing rescue and release. The full circle moment for a Vancouver seal who was let back out into the wild thanks to a local rescue, plus some simple changes to our everyday decisions that can help prevent our marine mammals from getting hurt as we head into the upcoming busy seal pup season.
Oh, they're adorable, aren't they? All right, thanks a lot, Lauren. After 50 years together, a couple in Victoria says they've never had a fight. Even more impressive is their mission to help people in need. In tonight's Sawatsky Signoff, Adam explains how these love bugs are putting litter to good use.
Although Lucia and Chris Chater had their first date on Friday the 13th,
we're not superstitious.
They've been lucky in love.
And I never left.
They've been together 48 years.
We've never had a fight. Ever.
And credit their longevity with having fun together. Like that time Lucia accidentally called Chris the wrong name.
Called me George, and huh? What's that? We laughed about it, and then I called her Fredrina.
So instead of honey or dear, George and Fredrina stuck, even when meeting new people.
You know, we're talking, and I'll say, hey, George, you know, and they'll go, oh my God, we've been calling him Chris. Oh, that's his name. But you called him George.
Along with sharing laughter, Lucia and Chris strive to share a common purpose. Like what happened after that day she decided to do something about the litter she saw on the sidewalk.
I didn't have anything to put them in except her poop bag. A clean one, by the way.
After cashing that in for a few cents, the couple started returning every recyclable they happened upon for a refund.
After 4 months, we had $500.
But instead of keeping it for themselves, they decided to donate it to their local community kitchen.
And I have to tell you, it brought tears to my eyes. I'm like, they don't deserve to be going hungry.
So Lucia and Chris committed to increase their collecting. And despite enduring arthritis in their hands and knees, which can take days to recover from, started spending countless hours accumulating as many cans and bottles as they could.
It's almost addictive.
It's a drive to get more so they can give more. And after 5 years of this, have donated more than they ever imagined.
$40,095. I know. We can't believe it either.
So no matter if they call each other Fredrina or George or crazy.
Crazy for you, can't you see?
This couple has no plans to stop laughing together or stop going on dates to the recycle depot together. Because when you find yourself this lucky in love, why wouldn't you help those who happen to be unlucky in life?
Be kind. Kindness goes so far.
Oh, it does. Goes a long ways.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. They make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Pretty impressive couple.
Oh, $39,000?
Yeah, not just for that, but the fact that they've never fought in 50 years.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, we're a little skeptical.
Just didn't want to say it on TV.
I think that's just because they keep busy.
Yes, exactly. And giving back to the community. So good for them. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. Clear and calm in Cole Harbour. Thanks, Kathleen, for sending this beautiful photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
A foreshadowing of what we're going to see in the next little while.
Definitely.
All right, nice sunny day tomorrow. And Lauren's back tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good night.